Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with poor performance. And by the way, learning how to do this is one of the key ways you move from being a manager to a leader, if you can learn how to do this effectively. And one of the other key ways, by the way, where you make that move from manager to leader is when you're confronted with a problem, a challenge in your area of responsibility, and you pull your team together and exceed it, and then you replicate that same kind of action. Wow, that's when you know you're getting it done. So let's talk about this thing on poor performance. And I'm going to start off by talking about Shaq. Well, why would I bring up Shaq? Wow, he's successful. I don't know if you knew this, but early in his career in high school, he was told he was too big and too clumsy to be successful. And then he went to a training camp, and Dale Brown from LSU was there. Shaq talked to him. The coach gave him a training plan. Shaq focused on it religiously and diligently, and of course the rest is history. 4 NBA titles, one of the greatest centers of all time, and of course he's on TV all over the place today. Never underestimate the potential of a person that we're working with. It is a fatal flaw to believe that somebody can't do something. They just need the right circumstances and support and opportunity. Most people can succeed significantly better in the jobs that they have, but it takes a leader to get it done. That's what we're talking about here. Now, what you'll see here are the top 10 problems that managers tend to face. How do we know this? We've worked with over 250,000 managers worldwide. We've asked them, we've categorized it. Here are the ones. Any of these seem relevant to you? Maybe 2 or 3, if not all 10, right? They're all there. And some are easier to deal with than others, but there are some basic principles we have to follow to be successful. I say this, the building blocks dealing with poor performance is to be preventive. In other words, are you doing all the things you need to do as a leader to bring out the best in people? So do you have goals? Are you recognizing performance genuinely? Are you handling problems come between teammates constructively? Are you adjusting your leadership style depending on the need of the person you're dealing with? Are you communicating one-on-one, in meetings, email, phone, a variety of ways, texting to be successful? You know, this is something that has to happen as a leader. We do that, we minimize the performance problems we have. But some do come up inevitably, and that's what I want to get to. There are 3 ways to deal with performance problems. I'm going to touch on each briefly, obviously. First is redirect. Second, review and coach. And the third, reprimand. Let's talk about redirect. Redirect is helping inexperienced employees or experienced employees working on a new task. Notice the distinction. We need to teach them. We present what they need to do. We give them the time, the practice, maybe with some guidance. We encourage them to do on their own, give them some praise for progress. Then we review and evaluate results. It's kind of a retraining process. Boy, that's empowering. That's motivating. Rather than what a lot of managers do, ignore it, then yell at them later. Or say, do it or you're fired, that kind of thing. We don't have time for that kind of stuff. Superstar leaders don't do that. The best bosses take a different approach. Then we have review and coach. This is for inexperienced employees and experienced employees. So we do some coaching. Now, Doug, my business partner, and I have lots of other resources on coaching on our blog, and you can go there and look at it, both video and articles. But essentially, coaching is you have a mutual decision-making process as you problem solve your way through what the performance issue. The goal is to get the employee to think through their issue and what they can do to fix it with your guidance and direction. Very powerful, will help, in my experience, 85 to 90% of employees, boom, get better. And then we have the reprimand. Now that's used when you've done the redirection or you've done the coaching and you've done it 2, 3, 4, 5 times over a period of time. You have to use good judgment, and they should have gotten it done. They know how to get it done. The reprimand is generally for experienced employees. Now, a little asterisk to that, the only reason it's for inexperienced employees if they abuse a company policy or do something that's outside the law or accepted values, okay? So what do you do with the reprimand? You follow up. It's a short conversation, a minute to 2 at the most. You confront the problem, specifically say what it is. Try to deal with it as immediately. Share your feelings. Now, you don't yell and scream, but you do raise your voice a little bit to emphasize the importance of it. Or if you're always talking loud, lower it just a little bit to make the point. And you share your feelings. You're disappointed. You're frustrated. You're angry. We don't have to swear and do that kind of stuff. Then you explain what you expect. You re-go over the expectations and agreed upon action steps that you've already discussed. And then at the end, you reaffirm their capability to do it. Why? Because they're experienced. They know what to do. For some reason, they're choosing not to follow through. We're reaffirming their capability. Why do you do that? Because when they leave the meeting, you want them thinking about that they let you down. And they will if you treat them fairly. Your focus is on the problem, not the person. All people have bad behavior. They just need to be guided with some feedback. And that's what we're doing with as we solve problems with these three methods that we talked about. They come from our book, Superstar Leadership, an integral part of our Superstar Leadership model. Notice it's 3D, unique, one of a kind. And I just say this. Doug and I are out to revolutionize the effective of managers everywhere because studies show 50%, over 50% of managers fail in your jobs. And you don't want to be one of them. You want to be better than that. So you need to be a student of the game. That's what we say. Keep learning in what you do. There's no excuse. There's lots of resources like ours and others. You go on the internet today, you find lots of free complimentary resources to help you do better. Attend the seminars from your company or spend your own money and go out there and get something done. And we say this, if you want your team to be better, and we know any manager worth his or her salt does, then you have to be better as a leader. I have this dream that soars on golden wings. I dream of your achievements and your legacy that sings. I do not know all about your awesome goals or your persistent efforts to raise the bar. I only know you can be the best, a superstar. You take care.